Hey guys, what's going on? So today we are going over the most recently released developer note. I know I am a day late on this. I missed it yesterday, but regardless, I want to go over it and my thoughts because I read through it and it does sound interesting and I just want to talk about it. So apparently these changes are going to be dropping on the 25th, so about 10 days from now. When they say the second revamp, I guess the first one was last patch where they're changing daily and weekly missions and the type of fragments and books we get so we can select them, and this one's going to be more focused on fragments. So the first really interesting bit here is they're going to be changing the way Upper Dungeon works. They're going to be making this like Conquest. How it is in Conquest is you can play every chapter's Conquest 5 times now every day. So what it's going to be like is that you can now play every chapter's Upper Dungeons 5 times a day. I assume you can still recharge keys if you want to for those 100 rubies because they don't say they're taking that away. So basically that just means a lot more fragments, and that's pretty cool. So I assume most mid to late game players are just going to do the same thing they were doing before, just in addition, chapter 1 through 6. I doubt anyone's going to refresh on there. Maybe chapter 6 if you really want fragments faster. But mostly you're going to be doing 1 through 6 and then doing chapter 7 and maybe refreshing once and on like that. And I would suggest, doing your normal loot boosters and trying to be really fast and just save chapter 1 through 6 for when you're in the loot boost. But I know that might not work anyway. But they're going to be changing the way loot booster works, and they're actually going to be removing loot boosters as well. So they're replacing the loot booster by consuming a little ruby. I don't know what that means exactly. Probably you pay to have a sort of loot boost effect for a certain time. Maybe it'll still be an hour, but they're going to be removing loot boosters. They say loot boosters in your inventory won't disappear, however. And since we just got 10 loot boosters today, that's good. Well, those that chose the raid tree anyway. So if this system, by consuming a little ruby, is less total expensive than a loot booster is in the shop, then hey, it's a good change, and I assume it will be, otherwise what would be the point? It says you'll be able to obtain more fragments and items than before, so it's probably just getting better. They're a little bit vague, but I think we all get the gist of it. This little paragraph here is also a little vague. They're just changing attendance rewards again, based on current in-game currency value and new items for hero growth which have been added recently. So they might be putting some reforged tickets in there or some of those special reforge things, but maybe for T7 gear as well. That would be cool. Here we just have a little quality of life thing. They're going to be changing the way you are teleporting between chapters, which I think is cool. It was always a little bit of a hassle to go from chapter 7 down to chapter 2 while doing conquests. And they mentioned that sort of example there, teleporting from Conquest to Upper Dungeon. So they're going to make that better, which is cool. I love seeing those little quality of life changes. It's all good. And now this whole section here really made me appreciate Vespa. Kind of got a little warm feeling in my heart as well. Well, I'm just going to read it. They say the next revamp is the golden EXP hot time. Currently, the fixed hot time is encouraging raiders to log into the game on the designated hot time, noon and 8. We acknowledge that the fixed hot time was forcing raiders to play the game around the designated time for more golden EXP. However, we've started to be skeptical about this forcibleness, which was almost controlling the playtime that players had essentially for their hero's growth. Fragment farming was the same. Because, yeah, when you want to do the loot boost, you have to stay up until 11:30 and play for an hour until 12:30. Some people like me can't do that on weekdays because that's past my bedtime. To lessen such coercion, we are going to add some missions that contain golden EXP booster effects in event missions. So like a daily and EXP booster, I guess. I'm not sure if they're going to be removing hot time and replacing it with just being able to do hot time whenever you want to, pretty much. Maybe it's just something you can grab in daily, like you can grab that stamina and the gold just by logging in. Maybe you can grab a golden EXP boost effect. I don't know if it'll actually be a gold booster and an EXP booster, because then you could just stockpile on them and just use them whenever you want to or whatever, which, wouldn't be bad either. Another thing I'm really looking forward to is the increased inventory capacity. There's not so much to say here except that they're doubling the max inventory. I've been at 400 for like 3 months, and while I think it actually is enough for me right now, of course I'm going to upgrade probably to 800 almost immediately, maybe like 600 to start off with, because they say simultaneously we're also preparing a bundle item which will enable you to expand your inventory slots at a bigger scale. So that sounds like a sort of package you might need to buy for real money, but it could be like a ruby package as well, we'll have to see. But having more slots means you can hold on to more dragon gear, not have to smelt it, sell it right away, or you can take your time with that, and it would just be a lot more convenient. And the last thing we got is also very exciting, Maze General Shop Revamp. So pretty much since I've been playing, I didn't care about Maze Shop at all. I didn't care about checking it every hour to see if there were anything good in there, because for the most part, and they even admit this, they don't have very many items that can get your attention. There aren't very many good items in Maze Shop. In the beginning, I did check it for deluxe potions quite often, but now that I don't care about empty deluxe flasks anymore, I don't need them, I only check her shop once a day to complete the daily quest. They say they're going to be making huge adjustments on her shop with more useful and valuable items so that we'd actually want to check it every hour. Kind of like the Shady Shop was in Monster Super League, because they had some good stuff in their shop, soulstones mainly for heroes. They gave us a little sneak peek here. They'll be adding items for heroes growth, legendary gears, and the most crazy for me, unique fragments. These are the fragments required to make unique weapon selectors. Well, once you have 1,000 of them, you can go into crafting and make a unique weapon selector, and those being available in Maze Shop, that's really weird. I mean, it's awesome, but it's still kind of weird and out of place. I'm definitely not going to complain, but there will be some stress now to check Maze Shop every hour, because you can't be missing unique fragments, and the stuff currently in there will become much cheaper. So I can assume some of this stuff, especially unique fragments, are going to be very rare, I assume, or very expensive. Maybe both. I have almost 500 million gold, so I wouldn't really care if they're expensive. Then they close with, you can really look forward to these revamps. As promised, we are trying hard to communicate with all users 24/7. Thank you for your support as always. Thank you, Kingsraid dev team. This really is probably the best developer team that I've ever come across. The Kingsraid team really stands out, and I have to applaud them for what they're doing, because they really do communicate a lot. They really do care about their players. But that's pretty much it for the developer note. A lot of interesting things here. All the changes here, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they're implemented, because they all sound good, especially Maze Shop and the inventory expansion. I guess we don't need to wait and see for that. It's pretty straightforward. But yeah, that'll do it. Make sure to leave your thoughts about this developer note in the comments down below. Leaving a like would also be greatly appreciated if you did happen to enjoy. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.